Ask of thy mother earth, why oaks are made taller or stronger than the weeds they shade. And again, not alone in the creation of man, in the creation of every aspect of this nature, God has a special plan. He made oaks very tall. That is His plan. And at the same time, the weed, the grass, they are all very small. But Mother Earth won't complain. Why some trees are very lengthy, why very tall, why some are very short. See, you cannot complain. Mother Earth will never complain. Only the human beings grumble against the Creator. Ungrateful we are. Then, or ask of yonder. Yonder again an archaic usage. There, yonder, there. Or ask of yonder. Argent. Argent means silvery white color. Silvery white, feels above. You cannot say why here it is like that. Up in the sky, why it is white in color. Why Jove's satellites are lesser than Jove. Look at the sky. You cannot ask God why it is silvery white there. Then Jove stands for Jupiter. And then you cannot ask God why different planets are having different size. You cannot ask why the satellites of Jupiter are smaller than Jupiter. These are all foolish questions. God, who has created the sky, the earth and the waters, He knows what is best. And everything is made according to His divine plan. You cannot complain to God. You cannot grumble against Him. You cannot say that I should be made more stronger, more taller, more intelligent. Remember, you could be made very dull and stupid by God. And so it is all the grace of God. What all we have, what all we enjoy, it's all the grace of God. God has given us eyesight to view this beautiful earth. We have good vision. We can hear the beautiful sounds of this universe. Everything is the gift of God. Only human beings grumble against God. But we have no right for that. Always remember, we are created by the perfect God. And so we are also perfect in our own way. God has a plan and He has made us according to this perfect plan, to suit His plan. Mother Earth never complains that some of the trees are tall, some are short. And up in the sky, the clouds never complain. The satellites never complain. Planets never complain. A sky is made according to His divine plan. The earth according to His plan. And the waters again according to His plan. Understood the first stanza, isn't it? Then moving on to the second. Of systems possible, if it is confessed, that wisdom infinite means infinite wisdom. Who has infinite wisdom? Omnipotent God, omniscient God. He is having infinite wisdom. We cannot measure His wisdom. With our little human brain, you cannot imagine the intelligence of God. The wisdom infinite must form the best, where all must full or not coherent be. Coherent, logical and consistent. And so remember, everything, the size and position of every creature in this universe suits His divine plan. All that rise in due degree. Then in the scale of reasoning life, it is plain. And so in the scale of reasoning life, See, he had a particular scale to assess everything. And he had a clear design and a clear plan about this universe. There must be somewhere such a rank as man. And all the question rankle meaning argue, quarrel, ever so long, is only this if God has placed him wrong. And so, the second stanza is a continuation of the first. In the second stanza of the poem, the poet says that the infinite wisdom, omniscient God, omnipotent God has a clear design in his mind. He created everything, the sky, the earth, and the waters according to this divine plan. He knows the place and position of everything in this universe. Everything has, according to its role to play, is given a specific place and a specific shape. And God has given man also a clear place to live. Understood? God has created man, and so his creation is perfect. We should be proud of ourselves because we are created by the perfect God, and we should be happy about the place that is assigned to us. God has decided, see, we are born and brought up in our country according to the divine plan. See, when we are to be born in this earth, God has decided that we should be born and brought up in this particular place. And so regarding anything and everything, he has a plan. And see, everything has a place and everything is in its place. And God has given a good place for man to live. And then Pope very ironically says that it is a question that can be argued again and again. See, has God given us a wrong place? See, God will never be wrong. But people are not satisfied. And some of the people, they grumble against God. And they even argue with God. And they say that they are given a wrong position. See, they are not happy with what they have. And so, people go on arguing whether the place that is given to man is the right place. That the second stanza is also clear to you, and we move on to the third one. I will read the third stanza. Respecting man, whatever wrong we call, must be right as relative to all. Again, a piece of worldly wisdom you get in these lines. That is, this is the attitude of man. What we consider wrong, what man considers wrong, may be right. And what we consider right may be wrong, because of our limited wisdom. Respecting man, whatever wrong we call, must be right as relative to all. And so, right and wrong is relative. See, what we consider as wrong may be right. What we consider as right may be wrong. See, have you heard the saying, one man's meat is another man's poison? What is the meaning? What is good for me may not be good for you. See, sometimes you prefer a very cold climate, heavy rain at your age, and you may be happy about it. But such a cloudy atmosphere may not be suitable for my health. Isn't it? And so in that way, see, one man's meat is another man's poison. What is good for me may not be good for you. What is good for you may not be good for me. And so these things are relative. Then, 1,000 movements scarce one purpose gain. In God's one single can its end produce. Then another thing is that we need several movements for doing a thing. For example, in order to prepare a dish, you have to make many movements. You have to work for a long time. Then only you can make a good dish or a piece of craft work. If you want to make a beautiful painting, several movements are needed and you need much time. But that is not the case with God. Every single movement can make a thing. Or God, when He says, let there be water, and there is water. Let there be stars in the sky, and stars are there in the sky. But we are not like that. We are ordinary people. And in order to do a thing, we need several movements and much time. Then it serves to second to some other use. So man who here seems principal alone, perhaps acts second to some sphere unknown. And again, the poet says that in this universe or in this earth, we have the most important place. That is, God created this beautiful earth and placed man at the center of it. And so we are given the most important place in this earth. But in some other planet, we don't know what is the position of man. Touches some wheel or verges very close to some goal. It's but a part we see and not a whole. Remember, the earth that we live, it is a small place compared to the entire universe. See, when you live in this earth, remember it is a small part of the big universe. Clear? And then for that an example is given. When a wheel moves forward, only a part of the wheel touches the earth, but it carries the entire vehicle and everything through it. And so, see, this stanza is very, very important. First of all, the poet says that right and wrong is relative. Whatever that is right in our eye will be wrong to another person. What is wrong to another person may be right for us. That is why one man's meat is another man's poison. That is, what is good for me may not be good for another person, and what is good for another person may not be good for me. And then again the poet makes another point. Then he says that for us, in order to do a thing, we have to perform a lot. Many movements are needed. But for God, a single movement produces a result. In a single word, God can create, make anything. And then he says that God has given us an important man. He has created man as his most important creation. In earth, we know only what is happening in this earth, isn't it? And so here, man is placed at the center of his creation. And so we are given a very important role here. But we don't know. The poet says that we don't know what is the position of man in other parts of the universe or in other planets. In earth, we are given the most important position. And then, in order to explain it, he says that, see, we live in one part of the world. The rest of the world, we don't know anything at all. See, when a wheel moves, only a part of the wheel touches the road or the ground. But the whole vehicle moves. And if something is attached to that vehicle, if people are there, everybody will be moving. But at a time, you will see that the wheel touches the ground or the road only at one point. Clear? And see, hope you have understood stanza 3 also.